Hello there everybody and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we get to talk about nature while playing games. We are back in Green Hell for the first time in forever, and we are going to be playing survival mode. Now I have already done this story previously, you can see the playlist right up there. We are going to see how long we can survive. Not going to play on Green Hell difficulty, that has permadeath enabled, so we actually want to carry on with the game, but we are going to play on the second most difficult difficulty, which is King of the Jungle. So sanity is on, hostile tribes are on, predators are on, and then there is an increased nutrients depletion. So you need to find a stable source of food quite quickly. Now there have been some amazing new things added to the game since I've played last, which has been forever ago. So let's jump right into it. Alright, and we are back in the Amazonian jungle. As I mentioned, this is An Ecologist Plays. My name is Will. I'm an ecologist by training, hence the channel name. And by its very nature, I must know about plants and animals and all their weird interactions. So let's see what we can find in this amazing game. Now, of course, we don't have a map yet. We haven't found a map. We don't even know where we are. Well, we are somewhere at those coordinates. So I guess the first thing we need to do is make some tools. And for that, we're going to need some nice big rocks. And we need to avoid all the creepy crawlies that are present in the game here. And hopefully we will not encounter any of the big cats either, because we are seriously unprepared thus far. Thankfully there is a big rock here and we can actually harvest that. Ooh, I hear a poison dart frog. That high-pitched call, that is almost certainly some kind of frog, and almost certainly some kind of poison dart frog, which we are definitely not going to pick up. Oh wow, we're starting out with a little tortoise over here. Wow, okay, there is the poison dart frog, but we need to first craft a blade for ourselves here. So let's just quickly put that in there and craft our first, well, weapon, I guess. And that, of course, is our blade. Where's the little tortoise? Tortoise, I'm so sorry about this. Hello there. So this little guy here is the Red-Footed Tortoise, and unfortunately it is classified as vulnerable. It is mainly due to the illegal trade in it and is controlled by CITES, but unfortunately here the Red-Footed Tortoise is traded illegally for food and as pets, but thankfully there are some conservation projects going on with him, mainly captive breeding programs. Now the tortoise, of course, the main line of defense is this shell over here, this carapace, which is actually just a part of its body. It's the ribs are in the inside there, and then there are harder scales over it. So it is quite sensitive, and it does feel pain. So people should not go knocking on tortoises. You can go knocking on heaven's door, but you shouldn't go and knock on a tortoise's shell. And of course, tortoises then eaten by humans, because, you know, that is meat is meat. So we are going to be eating it in a moment, unfortunately. So sorry, little one. But we're not going to over-harvest. We're just going to take this one, and that is going to be it. Now, tortoises like the red-footed tortoise here are what we call our selective species, which means they lay a lot of eggs, and most of those eggs and young ones will not survive to adulthood. They will be eaten by all kinds of things like coatis and a whole bunch of birds. And then the adults even are relatively safe. I mean, look at that shell. That is quite a nice armored defense. But even jaguars will be eating them. So jaguars have got extremely strong jaws, and they have learned that you can actually open it up by biting all along the edge and cracking it open. But we will have a look at these tortoises a little bit later. For now, unfortunately, of course, it will retreat into its shell, and we are just going to quickly harvest it. And the reason we have harvested it is so that we can get the tortoise meat, but also, very, very importantly, that tortoise shell. Now, let's see, there is also a parrot over there, a macaw, and I have managed to get it. Okay, the reason we're getting the macaw over here is so that we can get the feathers. That's going to be very, very useful. Now, we are, of course, dirty, as you can see on the left-hand side there, so we're just going to wash ourselves. And now, let's find a safe fish place. Now, if we are at a river, and the river is flowing from right up there down to that side, I think it's probably going to be a good idea to base ourselves somewhere along the river. Maybe a terrible idea, but I think it's a good idea. So we are going to do that. Being close to a water source is extremely, extremely valuable. And of course, being close to a source of food is also going to be very, very useful. So let's just also grab some more macaw, hopefully. So, staying close to the water here also means that we are staying in the open here with the riverbank, which means we should be able to hopefully spot predators approaching. Because let's be honest, I am currently terrified. I haven't played this game in ages, so I really need to... I'm going to play cautiously, let's put it that way. So we're going to hopefully not encounter any predators or any Waraha of the natives, so the Waraha tribe. Always thought I saw some there, but they're not there. Until we have some armor, which we don't have yet. So, first steps. We've got a tool. We need something better. We need a nice spear. That is what we are going to need next. After that, we're going to start making a bow. And then, of course, we are going to get shelter up and running. That's going to be our main objective. So we'll need an axe as well. Let's just stay out of the tall shrubs, because, of course, there can be things like rattlesnakes around here as well. We do not want to get bitten on our first morning. Oh, we found some signs of civilization. So, this seems to be a fishing dock of sorts. Well, that's great. This, I think, will be a good place to at least base initially. We have got an armadillo over here as well. Hello, armadillo. Oh, it is scratching around there. That is cool. We're going to talk about it as well in future. For now, though, our priorities are... Oh, look at the fish trap. That is a priority as well. There we go. We've got a little fish trap. That's going to be useful. We've got a water filter here. I think we are just going to sit up here for now. Now, first step now is to make an axe. Because we need to start chopping down some trees. And to do that, we need a liana. We need some rope. Okay, we're hearing all kinds of sounds, but I think those are howler monkeys that are not in the game yet, but they technically would be right up in the canopy there. That sound. Oh, that's a thunderstorm approaching. You know what's good? Thunderstorms and rain, which means that we can actually set out our tortoise shell just so that we can get water caught up in that, so that we do not die of thirst. That's going to be very useful. Now, rope. This is a liana. A liana is a type of climber, and you can see all the little lianas hanging down from the top there. So technically you'd have a whole bunch of lianas creeping all over the forest here, but right up in the canopy there we will not be able to access them. Right down here, of course, we can get them. We're not grabbing the entire liana though. We are grabbing the inside bast fiber. So the inside fiber, that's what we are grabbing. So if you remove the outer section of bark and you work a little bit with that, you can get that bast fiber, and that is then going to be very useful as rope, and that is what we are using here. So we've got rope, that's nice. We've got a stick, we should have some stones, yes we do. So we're just going to put all of this together, and I think, there we go, that's going to give us a nice axe. It's not a very strong axe, but it does have a sharp edge, which is what we are after. Alright, and there we go, we've got our first long sticks. And now that we've got a long stick, we're going to have some technological advancement here. We're going to add our stone blade, we're going to add some rope, and we have a stone spear. And you know what? We are going to craft 2 stone blades so that we can use one for harvesting creatures that we hunt, and use the other to make another stone spear. Alright, so we've got our melee weapon sorted. One thing is missing. Our ranged attacks. And for that we need more rope. Yes. And then of course we can make a nice little normal bow here with a long stick and a rope. Now of course it is much more challenging than just adding a long stick to a rope, but at least we now do have a bow. The other thing we don't have are arrows. But by combining some bird feathers with a bunch of small sticks, we can make normal arrows. So let's quickly craft that, shall we? So of course the idea with the feathers on the tips of the arrows there is to help it fly straight, and technically we have been using macaw feathers here, so it should technically be red in color, which would also be quite easy for you to then find the arrows after you had shot it, so that you don't lose it in the very dense jungle. But we now have an awesome little weapon here. We've got our first bow, and never ever underestimate the value of a good bow in this game, because wow, it does make things so much easier. Like that, for example, we have another macaw, and you can get your arrows back. So of course they will degrade over time, which means they will start breaking, but initially at least they are going to last quite a bit. Of course, the better you get with crafting, the stronger your weapons will be, the longer they will last. Not going to do more damage, but they are going to last longer. Now what we now need is fire. If there's one thing I've learned from Survivor, that is very, very important. And we need shelter over the fire. So for that we're just going to chop down some large trees, get some logs, and carry that over to our construction site, and start building our frame over here.
A few moments later.
Ah! I believe there's a centipede. Okay, I keep on forgetting that there are centipedes in the game here, and I'm always surprised when that happens. Okay, we're just picking up the long sticks here. Oh, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'll be honest, guys. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. I was like, what on earth am I hearing? Surely there's not something sneaking up on me. It turns out, no, there wasn't something sneaking up on me. There was something crawling over me. And that's worse. That is far worse. I think we're reaching the nighttime here, so we are going to have to sleep soon. We are extremely exhausted, as you can hear. But we have a frame basically built. There we go, and voila. Now, we just need a roof. And for that, I think I'm going to go palm leaf roof. Now, I have to be careful in the undergrowth here. There's always a chance that there's going to be something like the Brazilian wandering spider over here, which we really do not want to encounter. Do not want to be bitten by them. Alright, and that is another very, very important thing ticked off. We have a roof. And that means we can also make a nice little fire underneath here, and it will not be killed by the rain. Another win for us. We're just going to chop some leaves, because if we can get this to dry in our backpack, we've got a nice thing to start fire with. Now the nice thing about starting here, at least for a starter base, is that we have got the hammock over here, we've got some mattresses to sleep on, we've got another mattress over here, we've got places, or car back seats over here, we've got some places to sleep. And that is very nice. We've got painkillers also to start with, and you know, just as a bit of a basic design, basic food, we also have got orange juice, I think, there, and some more painkillers. If we get bitten by something horrible, at least we can survive. Alright, but let's sleep. It's nighttime, and that's the end of the first day. Alright, it is morning once more. Now, we need to start a fire. And we are going to make a campfire over here, because it is nice and big. We would be able to put quite a lot of food on there. Let's drink some water. So even though we have killed that red-footed tortoise, its death has not been in vain. It is going to supply us with water basically for the rest of our playthrough. And whenever we drink from our tortoise shell there, we will remember the sacrifice that one little red-footed tortoise has made. Now we are picking up a whole bunch of little sticks here from the ground. Of course, technically we should be careful about centipedes and all kinds of creepy crawlies, as we are picking up these smaller sticks as well. But thankfully, the centipedes will only spawn if you are picking up things like logs and long sticks from the ground here. So we should be fine. Should be being the operative words here. Okay, may as well grab a big stone over here as well, because I do know we need that around the campfire as well. Oh, apparently we've got leeches. Of course we do. Alright, our sanity is dropping because we apparently have leeches. Let's just quickly check. I forgot about the leeches. Oh, there we go. You blood-sucking parasites. Of course, being in the jungle, there is a good chance that you are going to find leeches all over your body. My dad and my sister, for example, they were in Borneo a few years ago, and yeah, they came back with horror stories of all the leeches that they found on them, and they get quite big. I mean, the whole idea is that they latch onto you and then suck your blood, and they will really increase in size as they drink your blood. Yeah, thankfully we don't really have a lot of leeches here where I am. In South Africa, in the southern part of South Africa, we don't really have a lot of leeches. We do have one in the area that I am at, but it specializes in drinking frog blood. So since I'm not a frog, I'm perfectly fine. They won't go for me. I have had them on my feet, but they did not drink my blood. They were just kind of waiting for me to just carry them to another part of the pond, so that they could actually go and find a frog to suck the blood of. Alright, we just need 2 more big stones, and it seems that one over there, this big boulder over here, is no longer giving me big stones, unfortunately, so we're just going to go up here, because right behind here, this boulder over here we also often find big stones. So let's just have a look around it. We've got a small stone up here. Oftentimes what will happen is if you grab the small stones, a big stone will also appear somewhere around the boulder that you are at. Don't seem to see it at the moment, unfortunately. We are out of luck, it seems. Oh, there we go. There's a big stone. So you can also trigger big stones to spawn by just removing the small stones there where you are harvesting them from the big old boulder. Okay, that's actually the last one. Marvelous. Now we need to start a fire. So we've got the campfire. We do not have fire yet. So what we'll need is a nice fire starter. Now, I love the bow drill, which is one of my favorite ways to start a fire. So let's have a look here. We can use our little bow. Now we need to, I think we need to find a plank. I think we need a plank for that. You need a small stone, that's for sure. You need a small stick. And then, what else do you need? I don't think rope is the secret ingredient. I suspect we need a plank. Okay, let's quickly grab a plank, because that's, I think, what we need. And the way we'll get a plank is we will chop down a tree, then we'll take one of these logs, and we will just quickly chop it, karate chop it there, grab the plank that we get. Also just bring these two long sticks closer, because we will most likely be using them momentarily. Just plop them down on the ground for now. And I think what we'll then have is the bow, the small stick, the small stone here, and I think the plank. That's going to give, there we go, there's the fire bow. So the idea is that you're going to have the small stick wrapped up in the bow string, and you're going to use a little stone on top of this little small stick, and you're going to put the other end of the small stick into this large plank there. There'll be a little groove there. It's very, very technical, but you can do this. And the idea is you'll move the bow back and forth, and in the process of you moving it back and forth and pressing down with your stone on top of the one end of the small stick, the other little end will bore into the plank here, and eventually it will start smoldering, and you'll actually get fire. That's the idea. That is hopefully going to work. Now, of course, we have used our bow, so we're just going to have to craft another bow for ourselves, because otherwise we do not have a ranged weapon, and that's not going to be very nice, is it? So, we've got a bow, we've got our fire bow, and now, have we got? Yes, we have got dry leaves as well. So, we're going to use our fire bow now, and we're going to just add some nice tinder over here. And there we go, you can see moving it back and forth, getting nice smoldering started there. And then we've got our ember, and we can just ignite our campfire here. And now we can cook up some... Oh, the tortoise meat has spoiled. Oh, that's sad. Sorry, little one. Unfortunately, the tortoise meat has now spoiled. Oh, that is very, very sad. Okay, we're going to harvest this. We're not going to eat the spoiled tortoise meat. We are going to harvest it, as well as this macaw meat over here. And we got some maggots. The maggots, of course, we can use in fishing. We can use it in the fish traps. There are a variety of things we can use it in. Speaking of fish traps, I think one of our next big objectives is going to be to build the large fish trap. I think we are probably going to build that over here. But it is going to require 50 sticks, which is, yeah, that is a lot. But we've got meat, guys. Meat is back on the menu. So, of course, in the game here, you need to maintain your protein level, you need to maintain your starch level, your fat level, all kinds of things you need to maintain. And, of course, your water level. The four of the important macronutrients you will need to maintain. So, speaking of water, it is raining again. Let's just drink some water. The tortoiseshell, they're giving us 25 hydration. My word, that is marvelous. Now, next thing we need coconuts. Because then we are going to be in the pound seeds. Now, we are not dirty at the moment, so we can just eat this little random mushroom. Please do not just eat random mushrooms you find in the forest. They can be deadly. So you don't want to accidentally poison yourself, trust me. Thankfully, I have not. Not yet, at least. I do tend to stay away from mushrooms that I don't know what they are. But we are after macaw meat. That's going to be very nice as well. Some more feathers to make more arrows. The nice thing about starting here at the fishing dock is there's a great supply of macaws, of parrots, that you can of course harvest for their feathers. I was really hoping for some coconuts, haven't found some coconuts yet. Of course, coconuts carried at the top of these palms, but it seems no luck so far. There's a big river here. Of course, you would expect things... Oh, there's another red-footed tortoise. Now, we're not going to slaughter this red-footed tortoise. They are, as I've mentioned, classified as vulnerable. We are not going to kill this one. Hello, little tortoise. Oh, they are actually omnivorous, believe it or not. They're not just plant-eating. They will also eat meat. They will even eat little snakes if they encounter them. So that is quite an interesting little thing. So just because they are a tortoise and very slow-moving does not mean that they won't eat meat if they have the opportunity. Apparently, they have also been observed scavenging on carcasses, which is, of course, a carcass, a dead animal, won't be able to run away from them. They are slower than the tortoises, so I guess that does make sense. Of course, caimans and jaguars will be feeding on the tortoises. They are no match for them, so we have got to keep an eye out for caiman along the big river over here. Anyway, okay, haven't found coconuts yet, but I have found some bananas, which is going to be another great source of carbohydrates. Now, we're not dirty at the moment, which means we can eat these, no problem. Also going to eat the macaw meat over there. And now, our vitals are relatively alright. It's just fats that we are lacking. And that's where the coconuts would be very, very valuable. However, no coconuts, I'm afraid, so I guess we'll have to do that next time. We do, however, have fire. We've got a bit of a shelter. We are starting out. We've got some weapons. We are ready to take on all kinds of things. The next thing we need would be armor. And that we will do next time. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to our little adventure here. If you've got any questions about anything we see or anything you'd like to know more about, do feel free to drop it in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really, really helps the channel to grow. And until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Bye.